Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael, and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named Nearby Volume in the AITAH subreddit. The post is titled, "Would I be the jerk for dumping my girlfriend after she ignored my calls and messages and went clubbing while I was undergoing emergency surgery? I am a 22-year-old man and my girlfriend, 22 years old, and I've been together for 5 years. We have been together since high school, and until recently, I have always considered her to be my future wife. I have even bought a ring and was planning on proposing over the coming months. Well, last weekend it was my girlfriend's best friend's birthday. She and her friends booked a private lounge at a club. Obviously, I did not go since 1. I was not invited, and 2. I hate clubbing or anything associated with that. I was actually looking forward to spending an evening alone and just binge watching Netflix or something. Well, my girlfriend left around 9 p.m. and I just crashed on the couch and watched some YouTube. Around 11 p.m., I started to feel this distinct stomach pain, the same pain you experience when someone hits you in the testicles. It was not bad at first, and I just thought my body was playing some tricks on me, but in the span of about 5 minutes, the pain kept getting worse until I was basically stuck in the fetal position on the couch. Initially, I thought the pain would go away, but then I pulled down my pants and it felt like my right testicle was starting to swell. The moment I tried to get up and grab my phone to inspect whatever was happening to me, I just collapsed to the floor. That was probably the worst pain I have ever felt in my life. Imagine being pelted in the testicles over and over again. I did manage to crawl to the table next to the couch to get my phone. I immediately tried calling my girlfriend, but she declined my call. I then texted her that something was wrong and she could come home immediately. The club she went to is about a 5-minute walk from our apartment. I just put the phone down and started throwing up because of the pain. After throwing up for about a minute, it felt like the pain started to cool down a bit, and I grabbed my phone again. That's when I saw her response. She just replied with a, "What is it?" I tried calling her again, but as expected, she declined again. She texted me that this was not the time to play games, and she then told me that if I texted or called her again, she would block my number. I tried calling her again, but she declined, and when I tried calling her a second time, I realized that she had actually blocked me. I went back to curling up on the floor, and now I started shivering. At this point, I did not care about being embarrassed and just called emergency services again and asked for an ambulance. It felt like an eternity, but the ambulance eventually came and rushed me to the hospital. I do not remember much of the surgery since I was sedated, but I remember waking up eventually and my right testicle was being stitched together. The doctor informed me that I had a testicular torsion and that I was extremely lucky to reach the hospital in time. I could have easily been forced to have my testicles surgically removed. I checked my phone and saw the missed calls and messages my girlfriend left me. In summary, she came home from clubbing and smelled the vomit in our apartment. When she saw the vomit on our carpet, she got mad and tried searching the apartment to find me. When she realized I was not there, only then did it hit her that I was actually being serious. I just texted her which hospital I was staying in and my room number, then went to sleep. I woke up the next morning and saw my girlfriend sleeping on a couch next to my bed. After she woke up, she started bombarding me with apologies. She thought I was joking, that I was trying to ruin their night, etc. I did not have the energy to argue, so I just kept quiet. I was beyond hurt by what she did, and I wanted to break up with her then and there. Why would somebody ignore messages where their partner is begging them to come home? Not only that, she stayed in the club until 3 a.m. and did not even consider going home to check on me. She did stay with me in the hospital for the remaining 2 days I was admitted there and did take good care of me, but I was still beyond upset with her. Ever since coming home yesterday, I have been wanting to end the relationship, but at the same time, I feel like she genuinely thought I was joking and made a mistake. I feel conflicted and do not know how to proceed in this situation. Would I be the asshole if I dumped her? Am I overreacting? How would you navigate this mess? Edit, just to clarify, no, I never had an issue with her going out in the first place or ever pulled pranks to get her to come home from a night out. Low Beam said, former paramedic here, dude, when you are in that level of pain, do not call your girlfriend, call emergency services. There is nothing to be embarrassed about. Oh, and you are not the asshole, but your girlfriend is. To this user, Tism's CIA said, they have a strong disconnect in communication styles. If they get married before figuring it out, they are going to blame each other. No Life 24/7 said if you were in her shoes having fun with your friends, you would still go check on her. Why? Because you love her and want to make sure she is okay. Imagine yourself blocking your girlfriend when she says she needs help just to have fun for one night. I hope this helps you realize that no one who actually loves you deals with this situation the way she did. She showed no concern, no empathy, and no effort. The fact that her first reaction to finding your vomit is to be mad instead of being worried about you is insane. Imagine if she vomited while she was sick. Would you be mad at her? Please realize that this is not someone who cares for you on an equal level. To this, OP said, "Yeah, the puke thing pissed me off beyond belief. Thank you." Update. First of all, I would like to clear up some misconceptions brewing in the comment section of my last post. No, I have never pulled any malicious pranks on my girlfriend to get her to come home early from a night out or anything, nor do I have an issue with her going out. And no, I have never blown up her phone like that while she was out with friends. We usually go out together since we share the same friend groups. Here are my and her messages from WhatsApp in order, since people thought I just texted her my balls hurt or something. Me: decline my first 2 calls. Please come home, something is wrong. Her: can't talk right now. What is it? Me: tried calling her again. I need to go to the hospital. Her: what? Me: again tried calling her twice. My balls hurt. Please come now. Something is wrong. Her: laughing emoji. Me: tried calling her again twice after calling emergency services. Her: I swear, don't bother me again or I'm blocking you. Let me fucking enjoy my night out. Me: tried calling her again twice and got blocked. Her next message after unblocking me at 2 a.m. OP: why the fuck is there vomit in the living room and where the fuck are you? Why is the front door unlocked if you left somewhere? She then went into a full mental breakdown as she realized I was being serious about going to the hospital. Yes, it was stupid of me to expect her to drive me to the hospital since she was drinking, but again, in that type of pain, you do not think clearly. I think I needed her more for moral support, and I did it out of pure instinct. Not immediately calling an ambulance was also stupid of me. I was in a lot of pain, but stupidly at the time thought that whatever I was going through would eventually calm down and driving to the hospital would be better than calling an ambulance. Also, in hindsight, me being embarrassed about calling an ambulance over my balls was definitely really stupid. The amount of mental gymnastics some of you did in my comments to paint me as some sort of dweeb or emotionally needy person for bothering my girlfriend was truly mind-blowing to me. I promise you, if my girlfriend was in my position and I ignored her, none of you would be defending me. Now, for the update, I am doing much better now. Not being able to go to work for the next 3 weeks is definitely a bummer. I work for my dad's construction company, and my job requires lifting a lot of heavy weights. I am also prohibited from having any sex for the next 2 to 3 weeks as well. I might have also developed some trauma due to the pain. I randomly get the same sensation again, and it is driving me nuts. As for me and my girlfriend, it is complicated. As so many of you and my mom told me, 5 years is definitely a long time to be just throwing away without having a proper conversation with her. So I did just that. I told her how hurt I felt by everything. I mentioned the following points: her ignoring my messages and declining my calls, blocking me after I tried calling her, her not checking on me once even though the club she went to is only a 5-minute walk from our apartment, her being angry about the vomit instead of being concerned. After hearing that, she got defensive and told me that I could have conveyed my situation better and that she genuinely thought I was joking. She was drunk and was not thinking clearly. She also told me that it could not have been that painful and I was over-exaggerating. I then told her yes, I could have phrased my messages better and I apologized for that, but I then described the pain I was in and told her that I barely had the strength to text her, let alone send her a detailed description of what was happening to me, and definitely could not think straight throughout everything. After hearing what I said, she started crying and apologizing for what she did. She told me if she knew how serious it was, we would not have been having this conversation. She then also apologized for being mad over the vomit. According to her, she was drunk and tired and was just expressing frustration. I then asked her why she thought I was joking and if she was cheating on me because this was seriously out of character for her, hence why I immediately trusted her with this. She started crying harder and looked like I had just slapped her in the face. She told me that she just thought I was being insecure about her being in the club with a bunch of guys, and no, she was not cheating on me and would never do something like that. We then hugged for a solid 10 minutes after that. The next part was really hard for me, but I told her I need some space to gather my thoughts and told her she needs to stay with her parents for the time being. She immediately started having a mental breakdown and asked if I was breaking up with her. I told her I was not sure and needed time to see if I still trusted her after all of this, and what she did was beyond disrespectful. How could I trust someone with my life after they pulled something like this? I then told her that we are young and this mess was mostly caused by our immaturity. This entire situation was an important life lesson for both of us, regardless of whether we stayed together. After begging a bit more, she then put her head down and started packing a few essentials. Before leaving, she told me she would be willing to do anything to make up for this and that I could take as much time as I needed. She then gave me a big kiss and left. That was 2 days ago, and this is where we currently stand. I still give her updates on my healing, but besides that, we do not contact each other. I am really torn right now. I still do not have that trust in her, but her owning up to her mistake shows that she knows she messed up and is remorseful. This is definitely something out of the ordinary for her, but there will have to be major boundaries and new rules set. I can think of the following. If she blocks me again for anything, it equals blocking herself from ever seeing me again. Ignoring my messages will not be tolerated anymore. If she goes out alone again, she has to pick up if I call, regardless of the situation. As many of you suggested, having an emergency code like hospital or something would probably have to be implemented. I am not going to abuse any of these boundaries, but I just want peace of mind knowing that my partner has my best interests at heart even when she is physically not around me, but I do not know. Again, I just want to thank you guys for everything. This whole experience was definitely an eye-opener for me. Should I get back together with her? If yes, would my demands be reasonable and could I add something more? Would I be the asshole if I dumped her over this whole saga? Edit. I do not know what happened to the bullet points in my post. Seems to be a weird bug or something. This next post was made in the same subreddit by a user named Silly Struggle. The post is titled, "I don't want to contact my son since abandoned me. I am a 45-year-old woman and have a son from my previous marriage. I got pregnant way too young at the age of 20 by my high school sweetheart David, who is also 45. We got married at the age of 22 after we graduated college. David was rich, he did not want me to work, so I was just a housewife. My son was the apple of my eye. I gave everything to him. He was my world. He and I were really close, and I never had a doubt in my mind that I would not be alone in this world as long as I had him. That was until 10 years ago, when I found out that my husband was cheating on me with a young colleague of his. What was worse, my 15-year-old son knew about it. He hid the affair from me. Imagine how broken I was. I was betrayed by the two people I cared about most in this world. I asked him why he did that, why he hurt me. His response was that his dad told him not to tell. He bought him gifts to keep his mouth shut. Having a young stepmother made him popular among kids. I was totally blindsided when I learned that my husband took my little boy to meet that woman. They made excuses that they went on a ski trip and took his mistress with them. I felt like a fool at that time. In the divorce ruling, my son chose my ex over me. I was heartbroken. My son did not even want to visit me after it was all done. I even tried to reach out to him once he turned 18, but he just refused. At that point, I gave up and went on with my life. I would still get sad over the years, wondering how he was doing. I did move on and met someone who is a single father of 2 girls. I married him, and a few days after our wedding, I got pregnant again. The pregnancy was a nightmare. I wanted to meet my son and tell him he was going to be a brother to a baby girl. The labor was painful. I almost died on the spot after giving birth to my daughter. I still wanted to meet my son, but I knew he did not want to see me, so I just gave up the idea. Over the years, the memories of him just became vague as I immersed myself into my new family. A week ago, I got a series of messages from him on my Facebook. He said that he missed me a lot and wants to meet up with me. It took me by surprise. Over the last 10 years, he has not contacted me, and now he wants to see me. Why? I have been going over every possible reason. The worst part is that I do not feel excited about it. As a mother, I know I should be over the moon, but I am not. My parents and husband know that. They have been pushing me to meet him. They say I need closure after all. He is my son. But I do not know if I want to relive the same trauma. So, am I wrong? Edit, I am sorry for the mistake in my title. I wrote she instead of he. Edit, wow, I never thought it would get this amount of response. But thanks. I will give an official update on this. For now, I am in conflict. If I do meet him, I will not call him to my house, maybe a public place. I am not sure if he wants something, but I will be cautious. Another edit. Thank you all for the support. I decided to meet him today, but I am taking my husband with me. He will not be with us, but he will watch us from a distance. For those of you who called me a neglectful mother who never tried to reach out to him, well, I hope you never have to experience what it is like to be rejected and lied to by your own boy. I know a lot of you will justify it by saying he was only 15, but a betrayal is still a betrayal. But yeah, I will be keeping my distance. Razmataz said, you are not wrong for being hesitant. Opening yourself up to the possibility of being betrayed again has to be scary. You seem to be in a good place in your life now. Only you can decide the best course forward. The people who love you are pushing for this reunion because they likely think that a mother having her child in her life is always the best course. However, sometimes, regardless of blood relation, certain people are not good for you. It will be hard for others to understand because they did not experience your heartbreak. There is no right or wrong decision. Do what is best for your mental health. You could even decide to pause on a decision and tell him you need more time. I am saddened that you experienced this level of pain. I wish you well. To this, OP said, I am inclining more towards not going, but I have yet to make final decision. Deleted user who said, I have to bet the dad has been poisoning him against you and now he has realized this and wants to make his own decisions. You are not the asshole. I understand why you feel the way you do. I have just been in his shoes before, so in my opinion, it is worth a shot to give him a chance. To this, OP said, could be. I tried to reach out to him and tell him that his dad must be poisoning him, but he did not listen. I just gave up waiting. Update. A lot of you have been requesting an update. I finally met my son after so many years. He was not a boy anymore, he was a man. He looked taller than I remembered. So anyway, here is the update. I read your comments, some of you gave me good suggestions. I prepared myself for any possible outcome. He could be there to meet me and tell me about his life or maybe to reconcile. Or maybe he wants something. Regardless of what it is, I am keeping my guard up. I asked him to meet me in a public park. I asked my husband to be somewhere nearby so he could see me. My son came 5 minutes after I arrived. He was all grown up. I won't lie, I wanted to cry on the spot, but held my composure. He said hi to me and I smiled. I commented that he had grown up and looked really nice. He just nodded. We sat down and it was silent. I was expecting him to say something at first, but I finally asked what he was up to these days. He told me he was doing fine. He had just finished college and was going to apply for graduate school. I said that was great. Then there was awkward silence again. He broke the silence and said, "You must be wondering why I contacted you." I replied, "For 10 years you haven't tried to contact me, but why now? I cannot help but wonder why you are trying to contact me when you told me years ago you don't want me near you because I embarrass you." His face got serious and he said, "I know that, but I need something from you. A lot of you suggested he must be here to ask me for money." Well, you guys were right. He asked me for money and the amount was $20,000. He said he needed the money because he wants to go to law school and his father can't afford it because he lost a lot of his money a few years ago due to a loss on his business and his company went bankrupt. He also had 3 more kids with his mistress wife. That's why they do not have money for him to go to graduate school. It just sank my heart. After 10 years, I was finally meeting him. I was hoping that we could reconcile and he would understand what I've been through, or maybe my husband was lying to him. But no, he just wants money from me. I told him I cannot give him money, not such a huge amount. He got defensive and kept asking why not. Then he asked, "Is this about Dad's affair? Geez, when will you get over it?" I asked him, "Why do you hate me? What have I done to deserve your hatred? Have I ever raised my voice? Have I ever hit you or said no to you? Then why? You always pushed me away when I tried to get closer to you. Why? What did I do to deserve it?" He took a deep breath and said, "You don't understand, Mom. You really expected me to come with you? You had nothing. At least my dad could afford the lifestyle I wanted, and my friends actually like Carla, his stepmother. Everything was fine until you discovered his affair and my deal with Dad. I get it, you didn't hit me or scold me, but you were not able to afford the life I wanted. I asked him if he really thinks his father's affair was actually the best way for any of us. I sacrificed a lot for him, and yet he chose someone he only met when he was 14. He said he didn't want to talk about that because it was so many years ago and I should just drop it. I asked him why he never tried to visit me. I even asked if it was his dad who tried to stop him or any other reason, or if it was something I did. I tried to reach out to him multiple times, but he never answered or tried to be there. I gave him space because I thought he was coping with the divorce too. He yelled at me that I was really annoying. His dad didn't stop him. It was he who didn't want to meet me because I lived in a small apartment with only 2 bedrooms. He hated living in a place like that. He ignored me on his 18th birthday because the gift I had for him was pretty cheap and stale compared to what his dad and other people gave him. I agree. My gift was a box of his favorite cookies and an old vintage watch. I was struggling a lot at that time, so I couldn't afford to buy him expensive stuff. But does that mean he should have ignored me like that? I had enough of it. I told him strictly that I will not be giving him money. I have spent years wondering where he is and how he is doing. He is still very disrespectful towards me. Throughout our whole conversation, he didn't even ask how I was. He just went straight to money. I was here hoping that we could move on. He had no idea how much of a mess I was when I learned the man I loved so much would betray me, and then my own son would lie to me for him. I thought we had a special bond. My head has been going through a lot of conclusions. Maybe his dad was lying to him about me. Maybe he was mad about something I did. But now I have the picture. I do not want to be his ATM. I wanted to be his mother even when he rejected me. I am tired of feeling rejected and getting mistreated and taken for granted. He kept saying and getting even more defensive that I cannot do this to him. I am ruining his life. I told him no. I cannot trust him to give so much money. He told me to cut the nonsense because he knew I have money now and I can easily give him some. I told him no again and again. At one point, he stood up and blamed me, screaming that I am ruining his life and that I owe it to him. I called my husband and he rushed towards me to keep my son away from me. I know now I should have trusted my instincts. I cried a lot when I came home. I lost him forever. I know a lot of you will call me a bad mother. You will call me a narcissist, but I am sorry. I have spent a lot of time in therapy to get over the pain of losing my husband and son. I cannot have him in my life only to be used as an ATM. Even if I gave him the money, there is no guarantee that after getting the money, he will not ghost me or push me away. And then when the money runs out, he will come to me again to ask for more. I cannot go through similar pain. I may be able to forgive him for what he said to me, but I don't think I will ever forget what he said. He hated me because I had no money. I would have been fine with weekly visits from him, but he never even wanted that. Additionally, I discovered during our conversation that he was the first one to find out that my husband was having an affair, and he asked his dad to buy him a new phone in exchange for not telling me. I lost. That's all I have as an update. I am sorry if there were any mistakes. It is hard to write and form sentences and put all of it in a few words. And no, his birthday was not the only time I reached out, as many of you assumed. I tried to reach out to him many times before that. He said he didn't want to or had other excuses. I respected his decision and didn't bother him much. I finally gave up trying when he was 18, but I still checked his social media for quite a while until I gave that up too. Edit. Thank you so much for all the support. I am by no means a perfect mom, but I tried my best. Also, as much as I am hurt by his actions that day, I still hope he learns some adult responsibilities and becomes a more mature person. With that being said, I hardly think I have the energy to consider reconciliation in the future, even if he comes and says sorry. It was already too much for me to be there yesterday just to be humiliated again. This final post was made in the True Off My Chest subreddit by a user named Dentist Big. The post is titled, "I got a text from my sister's best friend about her and my husband loving me too much to do anything to hurt me. My sister's best friend told me that she feels guilty for being a snitch, but that she couldn't do this to me anymore because she thinks that I am a kind person and don't deserve this. My sister and my husband have always gotten along very well. They're both brilliant, both lecturers at the university, and they have so much in common. I am not stupid, but I never loved school and I have a high school education. They have become best friends over the years, but never once did I feel uncomfortable about it since my husband has shown me nothing but love and respect. The opposite. Until now, I counted myself lucky that the two people I love most in this world get along so well. But now I feel nauseated. The best friend sent me screenshot after screenshot of her conversation with my sister. My sister has feelings for my husband, and she appears to know that my husband feels the same way about her too. In one of the texts, my sister wrote that she loved me too much to do anything to hurt me. In another, she wrote that I am too dear to both her and my husband to do anything that would hurt me. She seems to think that they're soulmates, which is odd because the talk about soulmates came up once between my husband and me when I told him that I didn't want us to be soulmates. He was curious and asked me why. I told him it was because soulmates meant that we are programmed or destined to fit together. There's no free will involved, and I want my love to come from a free space, not a predestined place. He laughed and said he loved that. But apparently they're soulmates? I know that I need to talk to him, but I am dreading that. I am in so much despair right now. Edit, hi, thanks for your help. I asked how I would be sure before asking my husband so he doesn't just blatantly lie, and you suggested looking into his phone. Thanks for your suggestion. I did now. I told him about my sister's conversations with her best friend and showed him the screenshots. He was shocked at first and said he had no romantic feelings for her and had no idea about her feelings, so I asked to see his phone. I read their texts and emails and I was shocked that their contact is way more intensive and intense than I thought. They talk on a daily basis. They have lunch multiple times a week. Nothing sexual in the text, but yeah, he is stupid if he doesn't know that she loves him, and he must think that I am stupid if after reading I wouldn't get the feeling that he has some feelings too. In one of her texts, she wrote that she wished they had met first and under different circumstances. His answer wasn't totally dismissive. He wrote, yeah, it would probably have been different. When I asked him about it, he said, well, yeah, if he didn't know and love me, he would probably have been interested in another, my sister included. But he loves me and she is a close friend of his. So there's no sexual relationship between them, but I am not sure that is enough for me. I think they are both wrong and should have nipped it in the bud way earlier. I don't know what to do now. I think I need time for myself to process this. I don't feel well at all about this, and I don't want to make decisions from a place of fear, hurt, or convenience. I am sorry I can't answer all private messages because I don't use my phone that often, but our ages are, my husband is 45, I am 42, and my sister is 38. My husband and I have been together for 16 years and married for 14. My sister is single. I am not a stay-at-home mom. I have my own business. We don't have children. My sister has 2 from a previous relationship. Edit again. So now I have had some long talks and discussions with my husband. He seems to think that this is getting bigger than it is supposed to because I told him that I needed time alone to think and digest this. He said that he doesn't understand why I am this hurt since he loves me and nobody else. I didn't relent, however, and he admitted that he knows that my sister is in love with him because she has told him so. But she knows that nothing can happen between them, so she is fine with just friendship. He loves her, but not romantically, and he is happy to have a friend like her. Their friendship is important to him, and he doesn't want it to end because I don't trust him and his love for me. He made a comparison to my best friend and asked what I would think if he asked me to cut my best friend from my life. He admitted that intellectually he has more in common with her than with me, but that the heart doesn't always choose who we are more compatible with, and that he loves and is physically attracted to me. I think this whole situation is messed up. I am repulsed by them both. I texted my sister all her screenshots, and she wrote that she was disappointed in her best friend and that your husband is all yours because I would never let anything happen that would hurt you because you are the most important person to me. In other words, they are both contradicting each other since both seem to believe that they are the ones who are not letting a relationship between them grow for my sake. Art Needs More Floof said, you need to have an honest conversation with your husband, and if you have any hope of saving this relationship, he and you need to go low contact with your sister, and you need couples therapy. Best case, your sister is suffering from limerence. Worst case, they are having an emotional or physical affair. Either way, inappropriate behavior has been happening that has been deliberately hidden from you. They say they do not want to hurt you. Behaving inappropriately hurts you. Lying about it and hiding it hurts you. They are already hurting you and they have not stopped. I know this conversation fills you with dread, but here's the thing, it is not going to go away and it is not going to get better until it is exposed to the light, aired out, and addressed. Just tell yourself it is like going to the emergency room. You cannot start to heal until the injury is found and diagnosed. You have found the injury, now you have to find what the injury consists of and start treating it. As terrible as the possibilities are, I always find that knowing for sure is easier to deal with than having the unknown dangling over my head like Damocles' sword. To this OP said, that is how I have always felt. I would rather know the truth. Until it happened to me, and now I do not even know what to say. Update. I have written here and in a few comments about my soon-to-be ex-husband and my sister. I left him about a week after, and he texted me day and night about how much he loved me and wanted me back. Then he just stopped. That's when I found out that my sister left her children at my parents' house and moved in with my husband. This made everything come out to the rest of my family, and my parents were shocked. My mother really looked like she was already showing post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms about how disgusting she felt this whole thing was. She kept calling it incest and asking if that was even legal. I guess that is how much my sister cared not to hurt me. Even though I have been well composed and calm, so much that I surprised myself, I still tried my hardest to look back on my whole life, childhood, and upbringing to understand when it all went so wrong. What my sister did felt like something that was the result of years of resentment or at least indifference towards me and our relationship as sisters. So how did I miss that? She never cared about me, did she? If she didn't, how could I have been so blind? Then, not even a week later, I heard that they have ended things. I found out in the oddest way possible. My sister texted me, the first time she texted me since everything started. She just wrote, "You bitch, I hope you burn in life and in hell." I was very confused because she spent that week sharing cheesy, deep quotes about love and soulmates and romantic Instagram stories with my soon-to-be ex-husband. But apparently that was over. He has blocked her everywhere and she moved out because she came to my parents to get her children and had a meltdown when they asked for an explanation. He started calling and texting me again, asking me to meet because he wanted to explain, because he loved me and wanted me to understand. He wanted to meet at least once before we started to meet with the lawyers involved, so that is that. This has left me even more confused than if they had just ended up together. I understand falling out and in love, breaking up, and starting anew, but I can't explain this. My soon-to-be ex-husband keeps calling me his only love and true friend. And my sister, until I left, kept promising that she would never do anything to hurt me. She left her children at my parents' doorstep and didn't answer their calls or texts for a week. And all of this for a week. What were they thinking? Has anyone here heard of something like this happening? People throwing everything away for not even a week. Update 2. After 1 week of being in love, my sister left her children at my parents' door to live in my home with my soon-to-be ex-husband, flaunting everything on social media and sharing cheesy quotes. She then moved back to her apartment and retrieved her children from my parents. They are no longer friends on Facebook and he unfollowed her on Instagram. Now she is saying that I have ruined her happiness, and he has started texting me again, begging me to talk in private because he needs to explain everything before we start involving our lawyers. I understand that people fall out of love and sometimes cannot control who they fall for, and they can hurt many people around them, but I have never heard of two people throwing away everything they pretended to care about in just 1 week. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, Gamersupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.